Hey everybody, this is Michael Bryson and Gregory Ulysses for This is Bodybuilding. How you doing, Greg?
I'm good. It's winter in Montreal. It's winter.
Oh, it's weird. It's going to be snowing here today. I think it's going to be a brief snow shower
Good for
in
you
Dallas,
guys. Good for you.
Texas. Yeah,
Get
weird.
some snow.
Yeah. So we're going to do our review of the 2022 Arnold Classic that just happened a few days ago. I thought it was a really great contest, one of the better Arnold Classics in a while. I think all the divisions were pretty stacked.
I mean, you know what? As a whole, the show was great. As a whole, I mean, every class was good. It was stacked with talent. For Arnold, it was very, very good. I mean, actually, you know what? I was very surprised, and as a fan of the sport, I was delighted.
Yeah. I think, there were 9 guys who were in the actual men's bodybuilding Arnold Classic. In ninth place was Fabio Giga Rezenda, I think is his last name.
Exactly. Yeah.
He finished last, and I think even he looked very good. I think the whole 9 of them came in pretty good shape for the most part.
You know what? That's what I want. I like. You know what? For like the last years, we always saying the open guys don't come in shape, whatever. For this one, everybody came into play, and everybody
Yeah.
came in really good. And as Dennis said on the podcast, there was no distended bellies. There was none of that. Guys really stand up and basically what a great show.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll just start. First, we'll give the order of the placings. First was Brandon Curry. Second was William Bonac. Third, Steve Kuklo. Fourth, Samson. Fifth was Justin. Sixth was Brett Wilkin. Seventh was Reagan. Max Charles came in 8th, and Fabio was 9th. There were some surprises, I thought, in terms of the placings, from not as we watched the show so much as from what we kind of predicted and what we thought we were going to see.
You know what? I mean, when prejudging ended on Friday night, I would say probably nobody saw the outcome coming because certain people got surprised us, certain people did not come in the way they did, which made Saturday night a great ending.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, basically ended up a bit like we predicted, but was it the great outcome is for the people to debate.
Right. I think, going into the show, you and I both figured it was, Brandon's show to win or lose. It was definitely going to be him in first. I want to say huge congratulations to William Bonac, because many of us thought, yeah, he could be second, but he might not be second. He might be low. Yeah. But he came in, I thought that was one of the best versions of William ever. In some ways, it may have been his best because his shape, he's a shorter guy. He has a squattier look sometimes when he's super, super full. The aesthetics are kind of not there. In recent years, his legs were down in size. At this show, they were back. They had nice round quad, nice sweep. But I thought he looked more balanced and aesthetic than ever, in my personal opinion.
You know what? It goes to show you how sometimes bodybuilding fans are jaded. Yet, let's say he had 2, let's say, not as great showings the last 2 Olympiads, and people wrote him off. He made a great decision by hooking up with Chad.
Great.
And Chad and him made magic because when he came out, he looked like the William of old. I mean,
yeah.
It's what with him is he's so dense. The muscles are so full. His legs are insane. On certain shots, you go like, what the legs, the arms. I mean, and he felt, and you can feel that he was confident on stage. And every time he was posing, my eyes was always going back to him.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I'm just going to say it. I had him as I thought the clear winner of the show. When I look at the score card, the judges had the first night. Brandon Curry got 5 points and William got 10. So there was a clear first and second to them.
Yeah.
To me, it was the other way around. On the second night, on Saturday night, they had it scored very closely, with William getting 8 points and Brandon 7. But I thought, if anything, William pulled it out even further on Saturday night. When he came out on Saturday, I was like, wow, like, in the comparisons between the two of them, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Brandon. He's got a beautiful physique, beautiful enough that I thought he won the Olympia last year, beautiful enough that I thought he was going to win this show, which he did. But I thought in almost every pose, I had William winning, and it had to do with muscle separation and density, balance, the legs being completely balanced to his upper body, which Brandon does not have. And he's gotten closer to that at the last Olympia. This year at this show, I don't think it looked like Brandon took a couple steps back. Not horribly so. He reminded me very much of the Brandon who won the 2019 Olympia. But I just thought his conditioning, especially from the lower half, was not there that much. His legs had no separation from the front. And in the back shots, which he's got an amazing back, his glutes and hams just were not there.
No, you know what? And basically, you know what? From what we're hearing now about the time that he got to the shape, probably explains why. It's not an excuse. I mean, it explains why he was the way he was. But that being said, William looked unreal, and Brendan. I think what carried Brendan was his shape, because his shape, unless he becomes really, really, really off, which hasn't done ever, his shape will always carry him a long way.
Yes.
And that's probably why in the end we had him and Brendan, and William side by side at the end, on certain, like as you said, his lower body, he wasn't as, I'm not gonna say that, because when he came out, he looked kind of small, but as the show went on, he looked better. But when he came out, he wasn't as big as, it was funny because it wasn't like, probably his weight was the same, but it wasn't as big,
Yeah.
As the show progressed, it got better, but as William did,
Yeah.
But so but my thing is this: now, probably in September, no, sorry, in December, we're gonna have a real showdown between these two.
Yeah. I think
because
so.
now, because now I think William will probably get better, and Brandon will probably try to make people forget what happened in March. So that's gonna be like a real battle.
Yeah, they're going to bring their best, I'm sure, and with Rami there too, it's going to be and Hadi, great Olympia, and again, I don't want to take too much away from Brandon. Like, he looked like that after a 10-week prep, apparently. He looked amazing, and like you say, his shape goes a long way for him. He's just genetically, he's got a beautiful physique, and probably the physique that, if I was to say, okay, which one of these guys do I most want to look like? That might be it. But when it comes to a professional bodybuilding contest,
that might be it.
William had more tools, in my opinion, and should have won. I thought a clear first for William. Second place, I still would have given to Brandon.
Because you know what? To me, it was a two-man show. It was like two guys. And then after that, as we're gonna talk, things change.
Yeah, it was a real battle, I thought, for third place between us.
Just that.
Yeah.
On top of change, Justin.
Yeah. It was interesting. I thought the show. He froze up.
And I think good.
I thought the interesting things happened between prejudging and finals with some of these guys' physiques. Steve ended up in third place. Justin I thought, was clearly in fourth at prejudging, but Samson came out of nowhere not came out of nowhere, but he improved greatly and was in the run for that battle for third place.
You know what? You know what's good about the 2 day shows? Like basically what happened. You know what? That's what happened. Somebody goes up, somebody goes down. And what happened when Justin came out on Friday, we were all like mesmerized, like, what the hell? And he was confident and he looked big and everything. He was probably third or fourth, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what I think? And we could see it on Saturday night, Justin faded, but Samson got better. And probably I would say Steve looked the same, but the same meaning great.
Mhm.
So that's why it changed. And I'm very happy for Samson. I say to people now, I'm a Samson fan now.
He froze up.
When that guy just is off Olympic. We're
You
good?
froze up. I
Better?
couldn't hear what you said about Samson.
Okay. What I said about Samson surprised me very much in the sense that that guy has all the tools to be a top Olympian for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I agree with you. His physique is unbelievable. I didn't know how big he was when you saw him standing
He's
next to
huge.
Steve Kuklo, who is a big guy. Samson is as tall and in some body parts was bigger. Probably structure not quite as wide as Steve's, but a big dude and beautiful physique, great arms, great everything. Like he flows, he's balanced, he's great. I think by next year he's going to be a top contender for the Olympia title. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the same thing as you when he came out, that's when I realized how big he was.
Yeah,
Because you know what?
huge.
Because I never saw really how he was until the show. And when he, like you said, when he stood next to Steve, he
Yeah,
didn't look out of place.
this is what happens with guys like, and I'm gonna say I'll include Steve Kuklo in this. There's certain guys who you don't know how big they are until you see them up close in person, or you see them standing next to someone who you already know is huge because they're the way they're proportioned. It's pretty aesthetic, and for guys who weigh over 270 pounds, 275, whatever. They're so balanced and they're taller. It's spread out. They look too aesthetic in a way for you to think of them as huge guys. For Steve Kuklo in third place, I was really happy for Steve. I think this year he did sort of the opposite of last year. Last year at the two shows he did, he came in really sharp and he faded slightly. In this show, I felt he came in really sharp and he stayed there. If anything, he may have gotten a little sharper Saturday night. I thought he looked great. So really a great accomplishment for Steve. Justin, like you said, he not only did his physique kind of look like he faded on Saturday, but his color wasn't as good. His oil wasn't as good.
Yeah. The abs
It
were
just,
washed out a bit.
yeah,
You
it
know,
was
like it was over full. I don't know, but you know
very
what?
overfull. Yeah.
It was over full. It was over full. But I still say this guy will get to the Olympia in
Oh,
December somehow.
oh,
There's no
absolutely.
way, for sure. There's no way because next week is Boston. He's gonna place or win something down the road. That's for sure. I mean, the guy
Yeah.
is too big. The guy, like, if he basically what if he would have stayed this at the same shape that he was Friday night, he could have been third and could have been
Yeah.
even talked about second. Maybe. Yeah,
Maybe. Yeah. It was.
maybe.
It was. He was very impressive on Friday night. I think you'll probably see this entire top six in the Olympia at some point. Brett
I think so
Wilkin,
too.
Brett Wilkin placed sixth. Going into the show, I think a lot of us thought that he would be in the top five, and many of us thought he might be as high as second place. Some people I
Mhm.
was hearing, people were commenting on posts I was doing that they had Brett going to go into the show and win. Um, what did you think of what he brought to the show?
You know what? From my standpoint, he did great.
I
The
agree.
problem is, like, he did great for someone who gained that much size in that short amount of time, created hype on himself, but not himself. I mean, the hype was on him. Um, he has a great future in the sport, very great future. I mean, sixth place. in that lineup is nothing to be ashamed about. Actually, it's a very good. Um, it's just like that's what I say to people. Bodybuilding is a sport of comparison. Everybody looks great alone until you make a stand against other people. And the problem is like people were so hyped up on him that we forgot established guys like William, like Brendan, guys that are established. And for people to put that much pressure on a guy was only made one open show was kind of unrealistic. I mean, Brett is great and amazing, but Brett is no Phil Heath, is no Kai Green, you know? So let's put things in perspective.
Yeah, I think
Big Brett.
I was happy with the way he looked. I thought he looked
Yeah.
he was bigger, a little bigger than last year, but his conditioning was still there. His side shots when he hits that,
Yeah.
you know, you can see all the striations in his obliques and stuff, and he's very very good. And yeah, last year he came close to Hunter Labrada in terms of that's Chicago Pro, but
Mhm.
Hunter was really the only other guy of. That's not true because there was Rolly Winkler and yeah,
But
but
Rolly
the
did
show
not look
was
like the
different.
Rolly, yeah, which yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
way different. And you know what?
right.
Here's what I said to people. Because now he's gonna have time to regroup and find that perfect spot to be able like to show the new size and to be a bit more conditioned, work on certain things. Because this guy also has a lot of tools in him that will
Yeah.
take him to Olympia somehow for sure.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think he's excellent. Um, seventh place was Reagan. I thought he would. I thought that he would beat Samson. He and Samson faced each other in a show or two at the end of the
Yeah,
year
in
last
Europe.
year,
Yeah,
and
he did.
he was
He
he
did. He
was
did.
beating Samson then, wasn't
Yes,
he?
yes, yes, yes. He did. He did.
I thought that would be the case here, just because that's how it was historically. As a betting person, that's what I would have bet on. I don't think he looked terribly off though.
Actually, no, I didn't. You know what? But like they were talking on the interview, he got COVID and he was sick for 4 weeks.
No,
So that, and I can understand now because in a prep, when you get a month of being sick, a month is too much to be able to come back from.
mm.
And that's probably why the reason why he was that, even though he looked great. I mean, you know what? Reagan is at that cusp. He's like he's there. He's getting there. And you know what? And I like the fact he's working with Milos because Milos will get him there. He will
Yeah,
get him at that
Milos
point
also works with Samson too.
with
He's
Samson.
doing
Yeah,
great.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So you know he has two great guys in the staple that are able to do a lot of things.
Um, yeah, I think Reagan just if he was a little sharper, maybe
What?
just a little bit, and his arms are still a little bit of a weakness for him, in my opinion. But they're getting better. He's getting better. I can see him definitely winning a show. Well, he's already in the Olympia.
Yeah, you know what?
Or,
Basically, you know what? In the top six of this year's Arnold, I mean, William is not qualified yet,
no, he's
and he
not.
got six. He's not,
Right.
so he's not. But he got a lot of points, you know. So William has to do another show.
That's why
So
I thought
William,
he would jump into the Boston Pro, being that he's
you
here
know
in
what?
the States.
I would not honestly. If I were him, I would do that show.
I would definitely do that show.
There
I
is
mean,
no reason.
because
There's no reason for him not to do the show. None. 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 I
he could
mean,
hold on to that look for
I
another
will.
week
Come on.
and walk
I
right
mean,
through it.
I'll tell you from being compared to myself. Like number one, you're not qualified. Number two, it's like they owe you one, and it's a week after. And Boston and Ohio is not very far. Columbus.
Right.
Okay, so that's like easy right. So it gets there, and for what I'm looking, Brendan's not doing the show.
Right.
If he goes in, you're the favorite. And if he comes in the same way he did, he's winning that show.
I agree.
No problem with that. So he gets that, gets the Olympia, shuts it down until December.
Yeah. Brandon has no reason to do this. He just won a
No,
ton of money two
There
hundred
you go, the
thousand
money.
dollars, and he's the Arnold Classic champion. He should definitely just cruise into the Olympia.
Yeah, you shut it down. Shut it down. But if I'm William, you go to Boston and you win that show and you shut it down.
That's what I would
You
do.
have to go. You have to go. Because because that's the best scenario for him to do. I mean, don't wait for another show. Don't wait. Just go. And then you know what? His name is not here, but you know what? If he decides now to do it, they will accept his
Oh
invite
yeah,
for sure. No
no
problem.
promoter's going to say no to having William
No,
Bonac
no
in the
problem.
show.
No, it's coming. It's going.
Yeah,
So yeah. So in my mind, he's doing it.
I hope so. Um, we'll move on to, well, I actually just want to say about Max Charles in eighth place. For me, it was like on Friday night, it looked like he hardly put any color on or any oil on. Saturday night, he came in looking great with oil and color. And from the front was just so chiseled, striated chest, deeply etched abs. And I thought, man, if he looked like that both nights, who knows where he would have placed? I don't know.
Okay. Here's my thing with that one, okay? Because I had the same feeling as you. Saturday was a completely different guy.
Different.
Here's my thing. Even at his best, where would Max would have placed?
Yeah. Seventh or sixth.
Because at the most, he would have been battling. You know what? Honestly, God, he would have probably been close to the same end that we have now.
Maybe.
Because I don't see him beating Brett, who got sixth.
Yeah.
And he's not being top to top. So you know what? Honestly, God, we're at the same place.
Yeah.
Maybe being Regan,
maybe.
But that would have been seventh, maybe.
From the back, it would have been difficult.
From the back, would have been no.
Yeah.
No, forget it.
Yeah. Okay, let's move into Classic Physique. I thought that was a great show as well, Classic Physique.
Amazing show.
Terrence Ruffin defended his title, two-time Arnold Classic champion. He's the two-time first runner-up at the Olympia too. And I didn't think there was anything surprising about that. The placings were Terrence first, Ramon Dino was second, Urs was third, Brian was fourth, Michael DeBull was fifth,
yes,
Peter Molnar sixth,
yes,
Divine Wilson seventh,
yes,
Darwin Uribe eighth, and Lenny Wicks ninth. And I will say, in my opinion, Lenny Wicks I definitely had in ninth, but I would say that the guys from eighth up all just looked freaking phenomenal. They all looked great. And I'm not saying anything bad about Lenny, just I thought that Darwin really looked sensational. But I have no problem with the placings. I'm just saying that was such a strong class that they all look so good.
No, and you know what? I agree with all the placings, and you know what? All the guys came in very great. I mean, I love the class. I love the athletes, the way they looked. Ramon is something else.
That guy, man, his
That
future.
That guy, his future is bright.
Urs looked great too. What did you think about Brian placing fourth?
You know what? Brian is at a point. Don't look great. I mean, certain people will say like his legs got a bit downsized and his waist got a little bigger. You know what? He looked amazing from the back. His back shots are great. Yeah, he's got great arms. You know what? He had great condition going in. It's the fact that now the guys in front of him are younger, better genetics, and they're not cap out as he is, because now you probably have the same weight for the last 5 years. And probably now it's tougher to be able to make the weight as you get older. Probably
He's
tougher.
In his 40s, right?
Yeah. So all these things considered, now that you're placing fourth in a show where the champion wasn't there, you have to start thinking about what you want to do next, because the guys in front of you are not slowing down.
No, they're in their 20s. No. The three guys ahead of him.
Forget it. They're 20 years and they're young, and you have Terrence, who's not letting down. it's gonna be hard. If he wants to stay in the class, stay in it. But winning the Olympia is something that's not in your card ever again. And
Terrence,
placing,
yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
but placing, even placing top two, it's not your card again. So I mean, where do you go from there? That's his decision.
Yeah, he's got a decision to make because honestly, if I look at his physique in the show, there's nothing I can say, hey, you got to improve this, you got to improve that. He's pretty much perfection in terms of all the body parts being there. His poses, every pose looks really good. But he is sort of stuck in a place,
Yeah, yeah.
with that weight cap. And he's not going to look significantly different at this point. His muscles have already got all the maturity they're going to get. And it's tremendous. But and he's a two-time Olympia champion for a reason, but and a former Arnold Classic champion. But I don't see him overcoming these three guys ahead of him or Sebum in the future. So the decision is: do you accept that you're going to be top 5 now in the Olympia, and that's about as good as you can hope for?
Yeah.
Do you go to 212 and try to do something wonderful there? And he possibly could.
You know what? On that 212 part, okay, I would throw you a curveball. Okay, right now okay. We can say without question that his window in 212 is not that big either.
No, it's not.
Okay. So basically, he can probably gain more weight for sure. But then again, he might have another year or two again to go in. But 212 is not easy. Is not easy. And
that division is just stacked, yeah.
It's stacked. And now you have to come in with the fact that there's no weight cap. So that weight cap is gone. So will you be able to do something? Maybe. Can he win a show somewhere? Perhaps. But it's all question marks at that point. Because his time frame is not that big. So
it is a very interesting place for him. I wish him all the best because he's a really great guy and great champion. He took the division to a certain level. So I just
yeah.
Terrence,
he took it from what's his name, from Danny Esther.
Yeah. Terrence Ruffin is somebody also who had a pretty short, from what I understand, prep time. I think he was also sick.
Yeah, he was sick too. Yeah.
And he came into the show, from what I understand, smaller than he was at the Olympia in terms of weight, actual poundage. But his appearance, to me, he looked bigger. His back, his chest was full. His arms, which have been like a weaker point for him, I think still not as strong as guys like Ramon or Breon, but
for sure.
It didn't look bad to me. I think Terrence, he looks phenomenal. I think it was a well-earned win.
Oh no, you know what? His win was no debate. I mean, he won the show because you know what? He's more complete, and he's
so polished
in the right places.
Yeah.
Like the chest, the legs, his back shots are amazing. His back double by is
it's great. Yeah,
it's great, tremendous. He has those long insertions like in the glutes, like Ronnie had, very long. I mean, you know what? And he's young too. I mean, Terrence is very, very good. I mean, to be honest, like the three guys we're going to talk about, him, Hurst, and Ramon, are just amazing.
I agree.
Amazing athletes.
Yeah, and the upside of these guys' careers is there.
Oh,
I mean, it's
there.
Terrence, I don't see slowing down anytime soon.
No.
A lot of it is, even I think if he was facing someone who was close to being as good as him physically, and these guys obviously all are. Breon's proven that in the past, and so did Ramon and Urs here. Even if he's facing people who are really close to him in terms of being as good physically, his presentation and confidence level that he has on stage, he's just hard to beat.
Oh, it's hard. I mean, you know what? he embodies everything that's classic. Like
Yeah.
he checks every box.
Yeah.
And he checks every box. So we have an athlete that checks every box. It's hard to beat. Basically, you need some super athlete like Chris Bumstead to take him out.
Yeah.
Because basically Terrence can say the only guy that beats me is a Chris. Everybody else I beat. Everybody else. I'm at
Yeah.
that point. Yeah.
Yes. But he's got these two guys now, Ramon and
No,
Urs,
they're
who I
gonna
think
go
are
for coming.
breathing
That's for
down
sure.
his
That's
neck.
for sure.
They're so young and they're so new in terms of how many shows they've done. It's scary how good they are. To me, Ramon, that's the guy who, if someone said, hey, you could pick one physique of all these divisions of the men's divisions right now, whose physique would you have? And you didn't have to diet, you didn't have to work out. I would
Yeah.
pick Ramon. His physique to me is so ideal. Just I love his shape. I love his muscle bellies, his arms. To me, he sort of like reminds me of guys from the 70s, like those proportions. Um, I just love his physique. I think he's great.
I mean, you know what, Ramon, and you know what? Ever since the Olympia, he just came out. He won a show in Brazil, and you know what? To get to the Olympia, because he qualified for the Olympia, he's already qualified. I mean, you know what? Him against Chris is gonna be good. I mean,
I,
that version of Ramon is
yes.
gonna be something good. Yeah.
I watched the Olympia with sitting next to Ramon's coach, Chris Aceto.
Chris, yeah.
And he was like, watch this kid. This kid is amazing. He just landed here on Thursday. This is
Yeah, I told you, I heard that. I told you that.
He landed here Thursday night. Look at this kid. Look how good he is already. And we were like, I was blown away by him at the Olympia. And you know, it's clear to me this guy's got the tools to stand next to Chris. Maybe not this year, but definitely by next year. He's got certain tools that Chris doesn't have. Chris has some tools he doesn't have. It's going to be really, and they're both tall guys, so it's going to be awesome to see.
Oh no, it's gonna be something because you know what?
Yeah.
Because Ramon has that classic but rugged classic, I would call it.
Yeah.
That rugged look. Like he's okay. If you compare it to Earth's shape is amazing. I mean, when he stands relaxed there, the muscles are nice, and you know the floor is great. But Ramon has that rugged look
Yeah.
that almost like I wouldn't say manly, I wouldn't say that, but really rugged, really hard.
Yeah. Sort of like a Mike Menser, but a tall
Yes,
version.
yeah,
But
exactly. Probably
those muscle bellies that like his
big
forearm muscle
forearms.
here to here, like
Exactly.
it's the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah, big forearms, yeah, for
Very,
sure. Yeah,
very impressive. He's a mesomorphic classic look. It's I don't know. I
yeah,
like it.
exactly. Yeah.
But Urs, to talk about Urs, man, he has some great. His legs are phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Back shots are incredible. You know, things about like his glutes. He's got like some of the biggest glutes, I think. You know, like some guys can get their glutes super shredded.
Hmm.
His glutes, when the closer shots you can see, he is pretty striated, but it's just he's got a lot of meat there. His glutes and his hamstrings from the back are really impressive. From the side, his side shots are great. Ursa's his lats when he hits certain poses, the lats just give him this great shape. My only thing with Ursa, I would like his arms to be a little bigger, but that's genetics probably, and they'll probably grow. He's so young; he's still gonna he can concentrate on certain parts and grow them. But another guy, I think Ramon and Urs could each have a title or two of Mr. Olympia and Arnold Classic champion in their future for sure.
For sure. I mean, you know what? If Terrence was not there, it would have been a battle for you between these two guys. Would have been something.
Yeah,
would have been something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Michael DeBole, who was fifth place, I had thought, you know, he sent me pictures earlier on, and I was like, that guy's going to do something, and he did. He placed a very impressive fifth. I thought, great conditioning. He looked phenomenal.
His condition was amazing. I mean, all the guys were conditioned like crazy.
Yeah, I love
Michael got fifth not because it didn't. It's like basically he's not missing anything. It's just the guys on top were just a little bit more put together than him. And I'm being really nitpicky
Yeah, yeah.
because Michael could have won any other show anywhere
He's
with that
got a bit of
condition.
a long midsection. It's just his shape is not quite as aesthetically pleasing as the two taller guys. Like he's a taller guy, but like Ramon and Urs have got a little more pleasing shape than he does. Not that he's awful in any way. He looked great, but his conditioning was probably the best in the show.
All right, you know what? His condition was amazing. I'm telling you, in any other show, he would have probably won that show in that
I,
type of condition. Easy.
um, we'll move on because I don't want to spend too much time on each division. I know we have a little bit of time constraint. Wheelchair bodybuilding. Unfortunately, only 4 guys showed up to the show. I don't think it got televised because I think it was so that it was too short a period of time. Just 4 guys, and
Yeah, because here's what I tell you. Because I saw Wellness in Bikini on Saturday, and then it stopped there.
yeah, I was
So like, they
waiting
didn't
for
show
it.
anything else after.
The way it was set up, it was kind of strange. They had all those different channels for all the different rooms and stuff, and I found
Yeah,
the
I didn't
exact
get that.
one that said at noon it was going to be wheelchair bodybuilding, and I was on that channel, and it just never happened. But I think it's because it was so condensed. There was supposed to be 9 or 10 guys in the show. From what I understand, that it became a matter of there was just the prize money wasn't that great for the division, and for some of the guys who were scheduled to do it, it became not really worth it to them to do it.
Okay,
From what I've heard,
understand.
but it's still a very historic show in that we saw Gabrielle Andrulli defeat Harold King Kong Kelly, which I don't think anyone saw coming.
No,
Harold's
nobody.
5-time consecutive champion at the Arnold Classic, 4-time reigning Mr. Olympia. To me, Harold was looking at pictures. I only had pictures to look at. He looked a little softish for him. He's won some shows not the hardest. Sometimes he comes in very conditioned. Sometimes he doesn't have to because he's just
so
got
big.
great size and shape to him. But Gabrielle really brought the conditioning. I thought it was a really good win for him.
No, look, I mean, I didn't get a chance to see the show, but I read upon it, and yeah, just for the fact of to have beaten him, King Kong was already something. So I was like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
And but you know what? It's sad that we did get the chance to see them. But you know what? If the prize money was down, I can understand the reason why some of those
That's
guys
what
pulled
I've
out.
heard. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's a good
I
reason.
think it's going to be it sets up for a really good Olympia though for wheelchair to see those guys go at it again. Gabrielle's been second to Harold many times in the past, so it was sort of like watching Jake Cutler win his first Olympia against Ron. So it's going to be really interesting come the Olympia. We'll go to fitness real fast. Most of us had picked Missy Truscott to win the show.
Yes.
She placed second to Ariel Kadar. The girl who I thought would place third was Jacqueline Baker. She placed third. After that, there was Kate Arrington, who did really well for herself. She hasn't done this well in a long time. She was amazing. Tamara Vaughn, Allison Kramer, Mina. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
I know.
Yeah. Yes. Erika Tiergale, Sarah Kovac, and Amanda Ciani was 10th. I thought the top 3 it was a really good battle for first place in the show. Prejudging, they narrowed it down to a top 2 call out for physique or figure between Ariel and Missy. I had Missy winning this round. I just think her proportions, her shape, her figure are phenomenal. And I thought her conditioning was good enough to beat Ariel in that round. The judges saw it differently. They gave that round to Ariel.
I think Ariel got it because of the improvements that she made. They saw improvements from the Olympia, they saw improvement from there. And that's probably the reason why I'm trying, because it's hard to envision Missy losing that round. But then I have to go about it going, you know what? How did the judges see it? You have to okay. I That's my best. It's like my guess is probably, what? They rewarded the improvements of Ariel over Missy. And that's why probably Missy lost to that point. Which doesn't mean that Missy cannot win. Missy will probably win. If Missy goes 100%, she always win that round. But now probably, with the improvement that Ariel has done over the short period of time, probably that's what got the nod on into the
Yeah,
crown.
I agree that if I'm trying to find a logic behind it, that probably does make the most sense.
Yeah,
But at the same point, and if that is the case, I would have had Jacqueline Baker did the same thing. Her physique improved tremendously, and I would have had her in the top. Instead of just doing a top 2 call out at the end, I would have had a top 3 call out with her in the 2 because I thought she looked great. And she did get 3rd place in the physique round, so the judges did see that she had improved too and marked her ahead of all the other girls. When it came to the fitness round, which is the round that matters the most, it's 2/3 of the points. It was Ariel was put clear first place with 10 points, and Missy a clear second place with 20 points. And again, Jacqueline Baker a clear 3rd place with 30 points. I was sort of, I always, Missy Truscott's routines always blow me away. She's definitely, I thought she earned last year's Olympian. She didn't get it. She won the Arnold Classic 2 years in a row. She won the Olympia the year before last. I just assumed she would win this one. I thought she had a good routine at this show, but her last few routines have had a lot of like super wow moments, huge athletic things that happened. And this one kind of did not have that to me. So I was not surprised when Ariel placed first in that.
no, you told me. I remember you telling me that because I did see that routine. I remember you telling me that, and I was like, you know what? Ariel is good, and she did it. And on top of that, she did it in a Terminator team, which is not. It's a good
It's,
thing to do. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
yeah, yeah.
So you know what? And I know Ariel has been at it for a long time.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
mean, I
listen,
mean,
I had her. So I had the top 3 of the Olympia last year being Missy, Ariel, Jacqueline Baker, and then I had Whitney Jones.
with it,
Whitney Jones won the show, but I still think that those 3 girls who are the top 3 of this show, they are the best thing in fitness to me, and make this division exciting going forward. I mean, Missy's going to come into the Olympia full steam ahead. It's going to be very interesting and exciting.
oh yes, it will. It will. I mean, Missy will come back, no problem for that. I mean, probably these two, like, I mean, last year, I mean, losing the Olympia and losing that one will probably set fire for her to be even better for the next shows. I think is she doing Boston this weekend? Is there? I think she's doing Boston next weekend.
Missy's doing Boston, yes.
Yes, she is. She is. So she might win that. Yeah, she might win that one.
She's going to come in so
Gonna win.
great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna win that one. Yeah, yeah. Still Boston.
Missy,
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 girls that I mentioned that I think are the 3 best. I have a good relationship with all 3 of them.
Okay.
Missy, she's a champion. This woman is phenomenal, and I just really think, yeah, that this is not going to hurt her. This loss, which
No.
I'm sure hurt her deeply this weekend.
Yeah, because we could see she was.
You see in her face, she was.
She wasn't happy.
But she shouldn't have been, and because she is a champion, and I'm sure that what we're going to see from her going forward is just going to blow everyone away in terms of the audience. So let's go to bikini real fast.
Yes.
Another show that I thought was stacked with great talent. I had thought Ashley Kaltwasser was going to walk away with the show. That was prior to hearing that Laura Lee was doing the show. She was sort of a later entrant.
Mhm.
It came down, the top four of that show were all amazing. First place was Laura Lee. Second place was Maureen. I'm not going to say her last name because Blanquisco. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
pronouncing it right, but she's
Yes, you're good. Very good.
a beautiful girl. She placed second. Ashley placed third, and Isa Pacini, former Miss
Yes.
Olympia, placed fourth. I thought it was super close between them all. I had Maureen. I would have had Maureen fourth. She's got a different
Okay.
type of physique from the other girls. The other girls are longer,
Longer. Yeah.
more, and they were leaner. I thought Maureen could have been a little leaner, in my opinion, but she looked great. I'm not sitting here saying anyone was robbed or anything, but
Okay.
the top four I thought were great.
Yeah, very good. And Lorly, you know what, came in her best condition. And you know what? Her winning the Arnold is a big, big, big victory. And that's a big thing going to the Olympia, having that. And that's having that feather in your cap at the Olympia, it goes a long way.
Yeah, I think so too. I thought, the Olympia was so close between Ashley, Laura Lee, and then the winner, Jennifer Dory. There's so much very close talent in that show and then that division that depends from show to show who could beat who because they're so
It's
close.
never luck. It's never luck.
Yeah. In
Figure.
fitness,
Figure.
Let me get back to that screen. Figure. Yes, Sydney Gillen. I thought she was back to her absolute best, in my opinion.
She won that show. I mean that, you know what? If the Olympia was debatable, that one wasn't.
Yeah, forget it. She's the greatest of all time, and it's I was a huge Latoria
Watson,
fan, and I still am. She was I thought the GOAT, and I couldn't foresee anyone surpassing her. But like, my God, Sydney has just done some amazing things. 5-time Ms. Olympia. Now I think this is only her second Ms. International title. She was great.
What? She was amazing. Nothing to say about that. I mean, that victory was not debatable.
Yeah. The top 5, all very good. Jessica Reyes-Padilla was second. Lola Montez was third.
That girl, my God. Oh my God. You know what?
Amazing.
To a point, honest to God, if she would do physique, she would be something else.
She's got amazing muscle bellies, right? Like she's just she's great. Nicole Zenobia Graham was fourth, and Natalia Soltero, who was second at the Olympia.
Yeah.
Many of us thought that she could have possibly have won that show. She was 5th place here, so I think she would look like she wasn't as full or something. It was just she looked a little diminished to me for the show.
Yeah. She looks smaller.
Yeah,
you can say that.
But the other girls just were all phenomenal. Jessica always is.
Oh, Jessica's always that's a given. Jessica, she's always going to be in there.
I think Lola Montez was the surprise of this show.
Yeah. That's something. I was like, oh my God, I was mesmerized.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. Men's physique.
Yes.
I thought Aaron Banks was a clear winner to me. Although Emmanuel Hunter, who placed second, came on strong, especially at finals. I think Aaron Banks is a guy who could be a future Mr. Olympia for sure.
Yeah, he's the one that could probably take out Brendan if, because his body's different than Brendan.
Very different, yeah.
Very different.
He placed second to him at the Olympia last year, which I never saw him coming. Like, I didn't think that he surprised me.
Because you know what? To me, he fits more the ideal of men's physique. Brendan's great. Brendan's amazing. But if you go with what it was supposed to be, Brendan is almost like too muscular, too big, and Aaron just fits it well. But not saying that Brendan's not great. Brendan's amazing. I mean, I love his physique, but I'm just going with were the
Yeah,
premise of
yeah.
Mike's physique.
And I think Aaron showed in his interviews with Arnold on stage, he's got a lot of charisma, a lot of personality. I
A lot
think
of confidence.
you could represent that division very well, and kind of maybe make it exciting again for younger guys who I think most of the attention has gone to classic physique these days,
Yeah.
understandably. But wellness, I can't really speak to wellness. They all look great to me, but it was Isabel Nunez who
She
won
got
against,
first, yeah.
yeah,
Against
Angela
Angela
Borges,
Gorgat, yeah.
who was
Second.
she won. Yeah, she was second. I think she was second at the Olympia as well.
Also, same thing, yeah, same thing, yeah.
Yeah, and Sunny Andrews, who I thought I had kind of predicted she was going to win the show without knowing too much about a whole lot of things.
Okay,
She did play third.
okay,
And
yeah.
Yurishna was the one who I think a lot of people thought would win the show. She ended up placing fifth in this. So, do you have strong feelings about wellness at all?
You know what? I look at I looked at it. You know what? The girl that won Issa is good. Angela is different because she's taller. Yorishna, she's popular because she's the one that's all over Instagram.
Yeah, I tell you, I thought
She's when you think of wellness, that's the
yeah,
and that you know what when she's what do we call it? She's almost it's funny. She's not Miss Olympia in wellness, but she's the one that's featured the most in wellness, which
she's
is
sort of like
kind
the
of funny.
face of the sport. Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of like there was a period of time there where Lee Haney was Mr. Olympia, where Tom Platz may have been the person that you saw on more covers of yeah. So yeah, when she was in bikini, I always thought she should have been doing better than she was, and she never placed as well in bikini as I thought she should.
No.
But this division is probably better for her. So
No, especially for and even then, you know what? It's more better for her. And on top of that, she gets people when they think of wellness, they think of her. That's
yeah,
like the yardstick. That's her,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
That's how they do, yeah.
So I thought great Arnold Classic for the most part. I was a little disappointed in the way that the who won the actual show,
Yeah.
but I wasn't expecting William to win. But when I saw the show, I thought he had it. But again, I'm not a judge, and I wasn't there. I was watching on my laptop.
Yeah, like I did.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to add, Greg?
You know what? No, I mean the show was great. I mean, it's a great rendition of the Arnold. Uh, it's a good start for the season. It's a very great start for the season. I think we're gonna have like great discussion this like the coming months, going to December. I believe, like you said, most of the guys that we've seen at the Olympia, at the Arnold, will be there in December in some way or fashion. Plus, I think we're gonna all the guys that we've talked about. Most of them will have probably want something to get the
I agree.
Olympia.
Yeah, I agree. I think next week's going to be a really good show to the Boston Pro. Hopefully, William does it. I think it makes sense for him to do it. I know Steve Kuklow's doing it. It'll be a really good show.
I mean, like I said, I ended on that. William, you have to do that show.
Yeah.
Because that will secure your ticket to the Olympia.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
He won most muscular too, so that was
that was not good. Okay, I wasn't good. I remember when I said, "Oh my god." When you win that trophy, it's never good. It's like, you know what?
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, very few people. Well, you know what though? I have to say, Jay Cutler won both.
But Jay's different. It's Jay.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's become like a consolation prize over the last.
Almost. It's almost the one you don't want to get.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I'm getting that.
They gave Brandon best poser though. Brandon's posing was great. Look, I hope, like when I say this, that I had William winning, and I think he won clearly. That's when I'm talking about, like one of the greatest bodybuilders of our time, William Bonac. I am not in any way diminishing Brandon Curry, who I also
Oh,
think is
he's a
one of
Mr.
the
Olympia.
greatest bodybuilders of our
He's a
time.
Mr. Olympia. And you
He
know
is,
what?
and he's
And
beautiful
not
physique.
only that, and not only that, if he wins the Olympia this year, he's the only guy that would have won the two shows twice.
Yes, and I think there's a really good possibility because I'm
Yeah,
sure he's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
come in
Way
super
better.
hungry. Yes, and
Way better.
like I said, I had him winning last year. I think Rami is great, but he's not unbeatable.
No, he's not.
And I think that we're going to see Brandon, William, and Hadi all at their very best this year,
Yeah.
pushing
And remember,
Rami.
there's the flex factor. The flex factor.
Oh yes, yes, this is true.
That,
That'll be
that
very
changes
interesting.
them. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I said that to my friends. I mean, you guys seem to forget there's a certain person named Flex Lewis who will get his invite. And I told people that, I tell you right now, this guy is not doing top six. There is no
Oh
way, no
yeah.
chance, no way.
Look, Hadi places,
Third,
third in the Olympia at about 216, 220 pounds. Like,
whatever, yeah,
not, and he's about an inch taller, I believe, than Flex.
yeah. Then Flex, yeah,
Flex
yeah.
can come into the show and do some really incredible things.
He
He's one
will.
of the best. He is
He
the best
will.
212 bodybuilder of all time. So he'll do
So
great.
we have something else going.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for coming on and
All
doing
right.
this. And
Thanks, no problem.
uh,
Thanks, sir.
appreciate it. Appreciate everyone for watching. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you very much. For right now, this is Michael and Greg. This is Bodybuilding. Peace.
Peace out. Yes.